knock down the Trump campaign and Russia reports. Then this morning, President Trump again called the fake news media the enemy of the people and railed against fake news.
First of all, does anybody else find this guy difficult to listen to? Politicians don't talk like real people. News anchors don't talk like real people. They just don't talk like normal people. Like, I can't, it's so monotonous and just so dry the way this guy talks. I just feel my eyes glazing over as I'm trying to pay attention to what he's saying, because it's just so many sentences stringed together in such a dry, monotonous today in how does anybody do this to themselves? Make themselves listen to this all day. People do it, man. Millions of people do it. I can't get down with that.
For the record, fake news refers to stories that are created, often by entities pretending to be news organizations, solely to draw clicks and views and are based on nothing of substance. In short, fake news is made-up nonsense delivered for financial gain.
Made-up nonsense delivered for financial gain. What does that actually sound like? It kind of sounds like CNN. It kind of sounds like CNN, Fox News, MSNBC, the entire mainstream media, the New York Times, the Washington Post, all of them. This is what they do. They just say a bunch of stuff that may or may not be true. A lot of times it isn't. And they do it to get your attention and sell you to their advertisers. That's all it is. I mean, do you think, honestly, in your heart, this is just, no one can hear you right now. This is just between you and me. Think about it. Search your soul. Do you believe that Time Magazine is out to better you? Do you think that CNN is trying to help you become a more educated person? Or do you think they're in it for the audience and the views and the advertising revenues? Because that's kind of what it's about. And I don't know if you've watched much CNN lately, but they will stoop to all kind of lows to get those views. So let's go to Exhibit 1. Let's call it Exhibit A. Is CNN in fact fake news? You decide.
So I don't think it's illegal, but I do think we may have reached a tipping point here. This is the latest group to weigh in and say that this vast collection of data is not that useful and infringes substantially on personal privacy. The president tried to address this last Friday and said that in a short period of time he wants recommendations. But I think at this point we should seriously consider not continuing
Congresswoman Harman, let me interrupt you. Congresswoman, let me interrupt you just for a moment. We've got some breaking news out of Miami. Stand by, if you will. Right now in Miami, Justin Bieber has been arrested on a number of charges. The judge is reading the charges, including resisting arrest and driving under the influence.
Pretending to be news organizations solely to draw clicks and views and are based on nothing of substance. In short, fake news is made-up nonsense delivered for financial gain.
Congresswoman, hold on a second. I know we're talking about a massive breach of the Fourth Amendment of the Constitution, a secret U.S. spy revealing to the American public that the spy agencies in this country, against U.S. law and the Constitution, have been spying on Americans and had to flee the country. And all this is going on. It's created this entire... Hold on a second. Wait a second.
Right now in Miami, Justin Bieber has been arrested on a number of charges. The judge is reading the charges.
Folks, that was CNN in a nutshell. That moment was exemplary of what CNN is. They don't care about the news. They're just trying to get the views. They're just trying to get those clicks on their website, trying to get you to tune into their channel. That's why they interrupted a congresswoman talking about the NSA scandal during a critical moment in the development of all of this, to say that a celebrity singer had been arrested. I mean, come on. Here, Shep, back to you.
CNN's reporting was not fake news. Its journalists follow the same standards to which other news organizations, including Fox News, adhere.
Whoa, you do not want to say that. Watch this.
A lot of people have been asking about that, about black holes and on and on and on and all of these conspiracy theories. Let's look at this. Noah says, what else can you think about? Black hole, Bermuda Triangle. And then Deji says, just like the movie Lost. And of course, they're also referencing the Twilight Zone, which has a very similar plot. That's what people are saying. I know it's preposterous, but is it preposterous, you think, Mary?
Now, God didn't lead him, didn't want him to go to Egypt, but he went.
Y'all remember that summer? When all they were talking about was the Malaysia Airlines flight that disappeared. It was just wall-to-wall coverage. CNN became the Malaysia Airlines news network, and that's all they talked about. For views. There was other stuff going on at the time, but people definitely, it was weird. It was very strange that it happened, and so people's eyes were glued to the screen for this wall-to-wall coverage, and it got to the point, it got to the Twilight Zone. They took it all the way to the Twilight Zone theories on CNN. You think that was about news, or do you think that was about views? A lot of people are suggesting that maybe the plane disappeared into a black hole, and I mean, I know that's preposterous, but do you think it really is? This is news? Are you kidding me? What did Shep Smith say?
Stories that are created, often by entities pretending to be news organizations, solely to draw clicks and views and are based on nothing of substance.
All right, here's Exhibit C. We got Dr. Amar Safdar on CNN. He's associate professor at a medical center in New York. They're asking him, Dr. Safdar, in your professional opinion, is Ebola the ISIS of biological agents? Would you say Ebola is so bad that you might characterize it as the ISIS of biological agents? Is that news? The funny part about in this clip, and you can Google this, you can YouTube this, is Dr. Safdar's just on there saying, no, not really. I wouldn't call it that at all. But they got that scary headline at the bottom of the screens. Ebola, ISIS. You know, it's like they're trying to, instead of educating you, they are trying to grab your attention by jolting you at the base of your brainstem where your amygdala is, and just light you up with, okay, what's something that might, be a threat to you? And it's not even a real threat, it's a fake TV threat. It's Ebola, which how many people do you know personally who've suffered from Ebola? How many people do you know personally who've been attacked by ISIS? These are made-up TV threats, and they put it on the air, and they put it in these big, bold, capital, scary letters next to each other, Ebola, ISIS, and they try and zap you, zzz, 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 and make you afraid. And that's really ultimately what the MSM is instead of trying to better you as a person, educate you, improve your knowledge of the world and the way things are, and maybe even, God forbid, help you know a little more about yourself and understand yourself better. All the news is about is just, what did Shep say? Nothing
of substance. In short, fake news is made-up nonsense delivered for financial gain.
And one of the main methods of doing that, how do you draw an audience, is you make people afraid because, we have this built-in thing. If there's something that's a threat to us, we want to know about it because, our ancestors had that, and that's why we're here. So they've tapped into that, and they are happy to exploit that built-in defense system to waste your time and sell you to their advertisers. So, good job, CNN. Sorry, Shep, do you still want to say that CNN is like Fox News? Because I actually think you're right. Exhibit D. CNN tweets. January 2014. 14-year-old girl stabbed her little sister 40 times, police say. The reason why will shock you.
Listen each day at this same time for the Thought for Today.
A kid stabbed and murdered her sister? And you're writing clickbait headlines to get traffic off of it? What's the matter with you? That's all I have to say about that one. Here's Exhibit I've lost track of them. E. Is flying more dangerous than ever? CNN asks. Again, tapping into that fear, lighting up your amygdala, getting those clicks. Clicks. Thank you, thank you, thank you for clicking on my article. Is flying more dangerous than ever? CNN asks. Let's see. Is it becoming unsafe to fly? Just the opposite, say analysts. Is flying more dangerous than ever? Nah, but made you click. Is CNN fake news or is it not? Come on now. Exhibit F. And the world's catchiest song is... The world's catchiest song, guys! This is... Who wants to know about the world's catchiest song? There's all kinds of, malfeasance and corruption going on in governments and corporations, in our institutions that guard and safeguard us. But, here's an article about the Spice Girls. Enjoy this. There's all kinds of nefarious plots out there going on, and there's all kinds of incredibly positive news, great progress that the human race is making, really courageous and brilliant, innovative people solving more problems than ever at a faster pace every day to make your life better. This is the world that we're coming into. It's there are engineers. For a second, let's just set all this aside, and can we give it up for the engineers that you don't really hear about or know about? Because they made all of this for you. They made you safe. They made you comfortable. They cured your boredom. They've solved so many of your problems, and they're trying to solve all the rest of them that they haven't solved yet, and they're going to, and it's mostly engineers, and the news is just all how terrible everything is, and this amazing story that is your story. It's the story of your family, the human family, solving its problems, and some of its most exemplary members and what they're doing and what they're accomplishing. And you don't hear about it. You just hear about, here's the world's catchiest song. It's, if you want to be my lover, you gotta get with my friends. Make it last forever. Friendship. No? Yeah, sorry. And last but not least, Exhibit G. Donald Trump's presidency itself, which a lot of people regard as one of the worst things to ever happen to our institution of government in recent times. And that was CNN's fault. There was no reason why this guy should have won or could have won, except that it was great for CNN's ratings to cover him. So they did. They gave him a mic. They intrigued people about him. They made people think he was the front runner. They made him the front runner, and it was all for ratings. Your future of your children, your country be damned. They wanted those ratings. It wasn't about anything substantive. It was just about what they knew you would watch. A guy that was already a TV star. So, and he was saying some pretty horrific things. And people, people are interested. They want to know about it. And so it was this really perverse cycle of destructiveness that was not about anything of substance. I would say probably the least substantive candidate, right, in terms of any kind of real understanding of anything, actual policy, credentials, just a brand, just a name that people recognized, and a few buffoon, boneheaded comments that stirred up people's amygdalas and got them kind of feeling these feelings. And so the media sold out your future for some views. That's what happened. Mainstream media. Is it real substantive news most of the time? Or is it
Stories that are created, often by entities pretending to be news organizations, solely to draw clicks and views that are based on nothing of substance. In short, fake news